DACA recipients known as Dreamers could be at risk of deportation once President-elect Donald Trump takes office. We will see. During his campaign, Trump promised he would start the largest deportation program in U.S. history on day one of his return to the White House. He also said he will end birthright citizenship by way of executive order. With this in mind, some have been critical of Latinos, especially males, who have voted to elect Trump. A lot of attention is currently on a man named Angel Rodriguez. He says he voted for Trump, and his white neighbor, who also voted for Trump, refused to let their kids play together, saying Mr. Rodriguez should go back to Mexico, where he came from. Some people online have no sympathy.
Because Angel Rodriguez, is a proud Trump supporter, a proud Latino Trump supporter. Do you see that you will not fit into that world? They don't want you here. They see you differently. So congratulations. And now he's on TikTok crying, boo-hoo, hee. Because his neighbor told him to get, boy, told him to get out my country.
Back to DACA recipients, there are more than 500,000 DACA recipients, so-called dreamers in the U.S. Joining us to talk about this tonight, the executive director of FIEL Houston, Cesar Espinosa, along with Georgia Brago, a Trump supporter, and Cristina Rodriguez, who also voted for President-elect Trump. Glad to have you all here on the Factor Uncensored. So, Cesar, when we see what we've seen in the reaction in this particular instance where this man of Mexican descent found himself confronted by his white neighbor saying, go back to Mexico. Your thoughts about that?
Well, number one, this election has taught us what we've been saying for decades now, which is the fact that Latinos are not monolithic. We support a variety of candidates. Talk to somebody from Venezuela is going to think so totally different from somebody from Mexico, Central America. Nevertheless, though, we are here. Trump has been elected into office, and we expect to see more and more of this. Trump ran on the backs of immigrants. He said he was going to deport people. He said that Mexicans were rapists. And when somebody comes up to you, when somebody sees you or me in the street, they're not going to say, hey, where are your papers? Let me see if you're illegal. And if you're illegal, then I'll attack you. Otherwise, I'll keep you in mind. People see what they see. And if you don't understand that, then that's part of the problem. Latino men voted overwhelmingly for Trump, and it shows that in our community, machismo is still a thing, anti-blackness is a thing, and at the end of the day, anti-immigration is one of the biggest things. Latino men voted 98% on the issue of immigration. And that's something that's very telling in this election.
And one of the things you said that I've heard, and I've lived a day in my life, there is still a lot of anti-blackness in the Latino community.
Absolutely, and most people won't talk about it, but we hear it in our families, we see it in some of our friends, who are, for me, are former friends, because at the end of the day, we have to realize, and we have to end up breaking those relationships and making sure that people respect people for who they are, for their humanity, not judge people by the color of their skin. This is not 1800s. This is 2024. We must do better.
And when you say anti-blackness, you meant Vice President Kamala Harris not voting for her, particularly as a result of this. George, let's bring you into this conversation. Your thoughts about what you heard there and how you came to the conclusion that former President Trump, now President-elect Donald Trump, was the man for you.
Well, here's what I'm saying all over just as he spoke, and just what I'm seeing online and different networks and whatnot. Typical leftist Democrat MO, calling Republicans racist.
I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. Let's make that very clear.
Well, just speaking generally, right? Okay. I didn't support Kamala Harris. Not because she's a black woman. She's not even black. She's like Indian or something, right?
She
is. She is black.
Yeah. She's half black.
Okay.
Half black, right? So I didn't support her because.
And you're full Mexican or full or half Mexican or what are you?
My parents are from Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So, anyways, the fact that she's black, that's not the reason I supported her. I just don't agree with pretty much anything, any of her policies, right? Not only that, but I just don't think she's a very smart woman. I don't want her leading my country, representing me out in the
Can we
world.
do the red flag for machismo about
No,
women
she's
being
not
less
smart.
smarter?
I agree with
and
you.
then-
She's
Correct.
not smart. I
Right?
think that she's totally.
She could not hold a sentence
No,
in
not
any
at all.
interviews.
She couldn't even.
Why was she turning down interviews?
She couldn't interview at all.
She turned down Joe
She had
Rogan,
to
the single
read
biggest
through a
podcast
teleprompter, and
out
she
there.
never was able
They're
to
comparing
address
Joe
anything.
Rogan to actual media.
No, it's not media.
Look at the
She
views.
had the media
Numbers
bought.
count. Look at
and
the views.
Zuckerberg came out, and he's for the culture. That's why he was wearing a chain, because he knows he's for the culture, and he knew how much Kamala Harris ran up the bill on those media apps, and Trump didn't, because it was all organic.
So look at this. What it comes down to, I agree with the Republican side. Policies and all that, that's where I'm at. Left or right, I'm on the right side. I agree with Trump when it comes down to it.
Okay. Christina, I would ask you your opinion, but we just heard it. So when you see the opportunity to support what many people see as a well-accomplished woman who doesn't have any criminal charges and convictions, your thought was, that's still not good enough. Let's go with Trump.
You know what? I think that for any woman who wants to run as president, she should run for president if that is her hopes and that is her ambition. However, if you can't have a conversation and really debate, this is what America's about. We're
Well,
debating
they did
right
have-
now.
they did
One
have their debate.
Yeah,
But she
they did
turned
have
down the
one
second
debate,
one.
and she turned down the second one because it was going to be on a media site that she didn't have control of, and the questions were not going to be given to her in
And Trump
advance.
turned down the third one.
Yeah.
He didn't have the
They
couldn't-
both turned down debates.
So yeah, because he knew it was going to be one-sided, and we know that it was going to be one-sided, and it was. And so there's you know, there's a lot of things that she could never really, truly, like, explain. Like, they asked her about the cloud. What is the cloud? And she literally was telling you that the cloud was up in the air when she was literally talking about software. They were talking about software cloud. There's a lot of things that she couldn't explain where it just made her sound very, very
Do
ignorant.
you truly think Kamala Harris is a dumb person who has served as a attorney general, district attorney, also law school grad? You think she's a dumb person?
I don't think that she knows a lot about, you know,
Definitely
certain things. No,
inexperienced.
she doesn't.
Not
I
experienced
mean,
enough
and
to be
just
president.
because you're a lawyer, you're a trial lawyer, you have friends with the DEA and with the judges does
And
not make
pass
you.
the bar.
Okay, we're
And
comparing
pass the
her, we're
bar.
comparing her
Does
to
not
a
make
failed
you-
businessman with so many bankruptcies, with so many with impeachments, with
I wouldn't call him a
32
failed
criminal records. I mean, this is insane. This is Stockholm syndrome, where your abuser calls you, calls women dumb women, calls them, says that he's going to protect them at all costs. Where he says Mexicans are rapists, your parents. I mean, and then
I've
here
said
we
many-
are.
I've said
Here
many
we are
things
supporting
before.
him. I
I've
mean,
said many things
well,
before
this
that I
is-
regret,
this is
and he's
pure
one of
Stockholm
them.
syndrome.
So
and,
you're
and
entitled to
planning,
your
and
opinion.
planning
You can say what
for
you want
real
to
news
say,
as,
and it
as,
doesn't
as
mean anything.
planning
So
opinion
you
on
can
Joe
have your
Rogan as for
opinion
real
just like
news
Trump had.
without
And he can
saying
say what he
anything.
wants
It's
to say.
nothing.
It's
You gotta
America.
look at the
And
I
views.
don't
he
care
did.
about the views.
So
Some people have
this
views,
is one we
and then
should
they
have
are.
extended, but we don't have time.
We need 16 hours, Isaiah.
We'll bring you back. How about?